Hi there, I'm Justin Pritchard, and today, the Bullitt. And fair warning, if you're a Mustang fan, you might want to use this brief intro to go get yourself a bid. This is the sleeper Mustang for flying fast and loud under the radar. Or if loud isn't your thing, you can just turn the exhaust down. Press the Mustang button, go through the menu, and pick the setting you like. That's just one of several things about this car that you can alter on the fly to suit your exact taste. It's more high-tech than the car from back in the 1968 movie Bullitt, which inspires this rare but recurring special edition Stang. Bullitt is an optional package that builds on the Mustang GT with unique looks which, as you've noticed, are uniquely and discreetly sinister and mostly do away with anything flashy like spoilers or excessive ornamentation. There isn't even a grille emblem, and the 5.0 badges are gone too. You get a slightly retuned version of Ford's sweet Coyote 5-liter V8, good for 475 all-motor horsepower, and a 6-speed stick is the only gearbox option because that's badass and that's what this car is all about. Don't miss that scowling face, the unique blackout wheels with the big red Brembos peeking out from behind to say hello, or the Highland green paint which replicates the color of the car from the movie and gives this special edition machine away. Ditto the special crosshair trunk emblem and the serialized Bullitt number plaque on the dash. This one's number KO484, and we're going to have some fun. Bullitt is everything the Mustang GT has to offer with a bit more power, a bit less visual flair, and it's perfect if you want your performance in a quiet, classy, and understated looking package that's exclusive and special. On board, this generation Bullitt flaunts Mustang's latest and greatest, including that gorgeous all-digital cluster, the powerful B&O Play stereo system, a full selection of track apps, and what I'm saying is the best cabin among the American Big Three. To my eye, it looks more modern and premium than the other guys, and don't miss the huggy Recaros with the green stitching. Plus, you can see out of this one, unlike the Challenger and more so the Camaro, which is awesome. Two average adults settled in up front, it's not cramped, outward sight lines are relatively good, and there's decent storage nearby too. This one's easy to live with. If you want to put adults in the back seat, well, don't bother, they're best left for the kids, and further back, a decent trunk with a good-sized opening means no problem for a load of groceries. Of course, this machine isn't about hauling groceries, it's about hauling That glorious drenching sound comes from this absolute class act of a V8, with its 15 extra horsepower turned in for Bullitt specification thanks in part to the borrowing of the intake manifold from the Shelby GT350. And in a world where almost everything is turbocharged, this engine ramps up performance in a different way, not with boost, but with revs. You see, there are a few ways to ramp up the output of an engine. You can make it bigger, you can add turbocharging, which is the trend today, or, and this is getting really rare, you can also make an engine more powerful by making it spin faster. And that's what they've done here. Bullitt's power plant does the better part of 7,500 RPM with a smile on its face, and if you've never experienced a little V8 that screams, well, that sucks and you should give this a try. You don't get the low-end torque of the bigger Hemi or LT1 like in the Challenger or Camaro, but this fast-revving 5-liter really starts to come to life at the sort of revs where those bigger V8s are already out of steam. You'll need more revs more of the time to keep this one on a rolling boil, which suits me just fine. That's a lot of fun, and it might mean using the 6-speed manual shifter more often, and I'm sure you're okay with that. And it's a pretty good shifter, nice action, very light and easygoing clutch that holds power nicely and doesn't feel like boiled mayonnaise, and it's a joy to put through its paces once you've learned the rhythm and deep throttle strokes required for manual rev matching. There's electronic rev matching too, but I left that turned off. If Steve McQueen doesn't need it, neither do you. Also notable, as one of Mustang's many clever little tricks, it even automatically revs the engine just slightly if you ease out of the clutch without any throttle input, making it easier to smoothly drive through rush hour traffic with one foot. So, choose your rev matching, the way the steering feels, how much traction assist you'd like, how it rides and steers and responds with the various drive modes, and hell, you can even program a timer to keep the exhaust quiet at certain times of day so you don't wake up the neighborhood when you start it at 6 a.m. Or if you like making noise, then use the exhaust track mode, which requires you accept a disclaimer saying that you won't use it in public places, which of course means that you will. What a nicely thought out machine, and what a time to be alive with all of these clever gadgets. Engine and powertrain take center stage in the show here, but they're far from this car's only talents. Notably, steering feel is direct and quick in sportier modes, and just a little lighter than you might expect, meaning minimal effort at the wheel turns in big responses from the car, and it feels mischievous and light on its feet. Ditto if you try to steer the car with the throttle or brakes in a fast corner. It responds to these inputs immediately, consistently, and predictably. By a fair margin, I find this feels lighter, more natural, and more eager when tossed around than its direct competition. This is old school in its own way, but feels the part of a finely honed modern driver's car, and I have no problem telling you this is my favorite driving machine out of the big three by a landslide. It looks good, feels good, puts on a hell of a show, and demonstrates plenty of precision. Plus, with adjustable suspension and the ability to all but silence that exhaust, you're always a button press away from turning this rip-snorting rev rocket into a leisurely, comfortable, and relatively quiet highway road trip cruiser. Is it perfect? Close, but some of the cabin plastics are easily marked and scratched, noise levels creep up quickly at higher speeds, and since this engine likes spinning quickly, it can be fairly thirsty during around town driving, though mileage is respectable on the highway. Plus, for the money, I could have done with some power seat adjustments or heated leather, or maybe a sunroof. A final note, if you're out and about after dark, the headlights are quite good too. In all, here's a very pleasing performance car with many strengths and few weaknesses, and one that you definitely need to drive if you're shopping this segment. This one's one of a kind. Thanks for watching.